Hello, chat. Welcome back to another maedotmkv broadcast. I absolutely loved DD Streamer Overload, and I'm so happy that they keep making spin-off games for it. First is this one that released this year, early 2024, which is just a little collection of mini games. And next month they're releasing a typing game. I think this might be one of my favorite video games. Like, Needy Streamer, the original. This might be one of my favorite game series, depending on how this one and the next one turn out. I can't believe how good and accurate these games are, and I am very excited to spend more time with KAngel and Ame, because I love those little goddamn fucking... I love her. I love her so much. I love looking in the mirror. I love mentally ill streamer women. It's so good. This is just how the game starts. I fucking love this like scrolling like Game Boy graphic background. It starts in Japanese, so you need to click the button to get English, which I find funny. I love when games make me work for it a little bit. I love this. I love her. I love her. Click the one you want to play right now. KAngel's room. Come on in, but only if you're really, really bored. Breakout KAngel, a block-breaking game that reveals stuff, but don't you dare play it because it's super embarrassing. Ame's happy dating game. I don't know who this Ame is, but I bet she's pretty cute. Which means you get to go on a date with a cute girl. Isn't that exciting? Don't Die KAngel, a shooting game where I get to raise down some nerds. But first, go take a shower. Please wait warmly as it loads. I'm waiting very warmly. Is the heat on in this house? It's so fucking hot, actually. Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god, this art! I love the PC 98 and 88 and other things that did not come out in America, at least by that name. Oh no, none of this is gonna be in English, huh? Use the arrow keys to move the paper left, probably not paper, to move the ball left and right. Pressing up will make the paper go faster. Press the Z key to start. Ah! Okay, can I get this in English? I don't want to be a dick about it, but I think this was an English video game that I purchased. This one might have nudity. Awesome. Cool. Breakout KAngel, a block breaking game. I love how sharp her hands are because of the pixel art. Okay. Ah. I'm very bad at Breakout, by the way, chat. I'm not even sure if that's what the game's called. Oh no. Okay, please keep that bra on, KAngel. For me, please. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I think she's gonna. Okay, wait. Yeah, okay, thank God, thank God, thank God. Can I push it right somehow? No. Okay, use momentum. Momentum didn't work. Oh. I failed. They're not gonna get me. They're not gonna get me. On the VOD I can censor, and Twitch does not have good enough nudity filters. She also, I don't think she's gonna take her clothes off. I think she's gonna start taking her clothes off, but. I mean, KAngel's a family-friendly broadcast. Yeah, I know it's just Breakout, but maybe she'll say something cool at the end. Google Lens translated the first line vaguely as something like, don't embarrass me, Peach-on. Ah! KAngel bears it all, I see. Okay. Wait, hold up. Quick thing about the chat. I do need to fix that. I put the chat in the wrong place. There we go. I can fix that. There we go. Okay. Okay, no, yeah, we've uncovered everything. She doesn't get naked for me. Okay. There might be another level. There usually are to this sort of game, but I'm kind of hoping that this is all there is. Okay, fuck you. That should have hit. Awesome. It wouldn't surprise you, but basically every porn game on the Nintendo Switch is some form of like, goddamn slide puzzle or Breakout or like the most generic fucking top-down shooter. You know, it's never changed. Video games have been like this since the beginning of them. You have to work for your boobs, but don't you have to work too hard, you know? Because if you have to work too hard, you might not find them. Okay, fuck you. There is a strip mahjong game. There's a strip mahjong game from the Saturn that got pulled from the eShop because it had boobs in it. And Nintendo didn't know that when they allowed it. Ah! Okay. I think it was Saturn at least. There we go. Oh man, I wish this was in English. Keep this a secret, but congratulations on clearing. You did well. I'm so happy for you. That's cool. Do I have to close the executable to get back to the main game? I think I do. All right. Let's see here. Don't Die KAngel, a shooting game where I get to race down some nerds. But first, go take a shower. Yeah, but it was Breakout with really cute graphics. Oh. What the fuck? Hey cuties! I'm KAngel, your favorite internet angel. Guess where I am today? I'm here at Comic-Con, the sacred pilgrimage site for all nerds. Ew, look at all these people. I wonder if there's anything I can turn into content. Whoa, it's KAngel. Hello, my cutie nerd. I'm gonna kill you. Oh no, an IRL live death threat. KAngel, I love you. Shut up, die, kill yourself. Shut the fuck up, Lamau. Oh my fucking god, they're all so rude. You filthy nerds. Take your meds and go to sleep. Bless. Oh my god. Am I shooting medication at them? Ah! Oh my god, this is the perfect video game. Chick medicine, yeah, sure. Oh my god. fucking god, there's so many of them. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is what happened to me when that person took a photo of me at the bodega. Check the Silent Hill 3 VOD for more information. I didn't get murdered, so I'm chill with it. It's all in the life of being a Twitch streamer. Ah! No! Oh, I can just like hold it. That's not a link, dog. That's not a link. I love how literally all of these feel like student video games. This makes me so happy. Like very competently made student video games. Someone put fucking KAngel and Balatro, dog. Ah, she's so good. Ah! Goodbye, cuties. Blah. Did it. Never thought I'd get attacked by robots today. There she is. Let me smash. There's more? KAngel! What do you mean my mic was muted? How the fuck was my mic muted? For how long was my mic muted? What? How long was my mic muted for? How long was my... Oh, when I beeped it? No, it wasn't. Like a couple seconds. When I beeped it. Okay, so you missed me do the last of those lines. Because I just did a plus. Oh my god. Oh? That's so bizarre. I pressed a button that isn't my normal mute button. Like, it's only supposed to... What the fuck? I found a way to mute my mic without muting my monitoring. That's not how that's not how that's supposed to work. Hold up. Huh. Oh! I've never pressed that button before. Alright, okay, back to the game, sorry. Thank you for catching that, Ari. What's the road on the ground for? It just looks really cool. I don't know in what way this is supposed to look like Comiket, but according to them, it does. The lasers are very, very good. Ah! Oh, that laser's so good. Chad, are you happy I'm finally playing Toho? Give me more of those that chick medicine. Ah! Okay. I defeat fucking Rainbow Otaku every day. That was easy. Get lost, you stinky gamers! Wow! It never ends. Die! Ah! Can I ask you something? Yes, ma'am. Are you guys coming from the station? Yes, we came by the train. Oh, I see. The trains, huh? I'm gonna go check the station out for a sec. This will be your final bless. What does that mean? Ah! Look, if destroying the national rail system gets otakus off the street, I think it's worth it. Okay, I don't think that did anything. I'm gonna grab more fucking cool bullets. Did he kill himself? I think those guys are killing themselves. Oh no, I'm shooting them. Okay. Let me take more bullets for a second. I'm not bombing the subway system, I'm just protecting KAngel. And when you say that's a worthy goal. Oh god, they're so big. Oh god, that's the train. Oh shit, okay. Ah! The whole bus is attacking me. I don't think I'm destroying the national infrastructure, and if I am, it's self-defense. They took over the bus. They already destroyed it. Or the train, sorry. No, those like railway track tire things. It's a fucking bus. It's a train. Doesn't matter. If I misidentify it, the otaku gets so mad. It's so funny that they call themselves foamers. I find it really cute. Bye, game. And me? Oh, thank you. All those stupid nerds are gone. Hell yeah. I got some good content ideas today, too. Tell me how we did, Peachon. Sorry. Tell me how well I did, Peachon. Bye, game. I'm very happy that one was in English, which is why I'm confused why the Breakout one wasn't. Oh my god! Hey, cutie! Welcome to my room. Make yourself at home. You can also try clicking on the devs' names to the right if you want. This turned from me saying, wouldn't it be cool if we had a fan disc parodying the ones from the 90s, into a full-blown thing that captured my idea incredibly well, which is amazing. I'm so blessed to have a team that could have a blast creating with. I truly feel like NSO has something has become something we can freely unleash our fun and creativity with. We had an absolute ball with this, so we'd like to pass those feelings on to our players too. It would really make our day. The main game didn't go much into what dates with Ame involved, so I was really happy that we got the opportunity to expand on that with the bonus content here. No. I'm Saito, the producer. I love these kinds of mini-games and short visual novels. I think everyone should make more of them. I'm so happy I get to share these with you today. Yes! Yes! I'm Maluino, and I did art for Ame in the VN. I spent a lot of time getting to know her properly, racking my brain for how she would feel during certain parts. I'm very lucky to have been blessed with the opportunity to capture her cuteness. I'm Unica, and I headed the script for the VN. I'm really glad I was able to write something that showed off all of Ame's charms and quirks. Hope you all enjoy it as much as I did. I'm Mumi, and I oversaw the production of the bonus Die KAngel game. It's a casual, quick-paced game that I hope you all enjoy. I also made the super cute KAngel animation that pops up when you win, so keep your eyes peeled for that too. I'm Nanai. I was in charge of the staff message page and launcher along with the block breaking game. Both of us from our circle, helped out, but I'll be speaking today as the group rep. The staff message section pays homage to a famous PC 98 game. And the block breaker game won from PC 88. I feel like you can only really get these kinds of things on fan discs, and this is probably one of the few chances in the modern age we'll get to experience something this retro, even when it comes to NSO content. So I really hope you all have fun with it. Lastly, thank you to all the players who have played the masterpieces from that era, and to those who are giving this a go. See you all around then. Pepposoft. Hello, I did the NFO SFX, the Windows startup sound, the train single, etc., and the SFX and background music for the block breaking game. I drew heavy inspiration from the original game that it was based on, and played around with the overtones in FM synthesis to make the final product. Ended up pretty good, if you ask me. Anyway, enjoy. Ame's Happy Happy Dating Game. I don't know who this Ame is, but I bet she's pretty cute. Which means you get to go on a date with a cute girl. Isn't that exciting? I'm waiting very warmly. This is a little loud, I'm not gonna lie. Peachon, let's go on a date today. The one who spoke was a well-dressed girl who liked to dream big and call her partner a stupidly cute nickname like Peachon. Her name was Ame, and she was my girlfriend. Her black skirt fluttered around her thighs as she hovered excitedly, sort of like a fly buzzing over a pile of garbage. She made no attempt at hiding her desire for my attention. And it was so cute. She knew she was cute, better than anyone, in fact. Every single one of her movements was exaggerated for perfect effect, and it always worked. She was the star of her own show, running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She knew she could get away with it too, because of how adorable she was. She wielded her own cuteness like a weapon that could get her anything she wanted. Although she had a childish charm to her, she had the cunning mind of a veteran tactician. Thanks for working so hard for me all the time. I know you fell asleep at your desk because you were up all night editing videos for me, so I feel kind of bad waking you up, but... Ame fidgeted with her hair and looked at me, apologetically. Her thick, glossy locks hung in 2 pigtails and a long fringe that covered half of her face. She could cry all she wanted from her hidden eye, and no one would be none the wiser. It was an extra layer of protection along with her over-the-top acting. That's my theory anyway. Legend has it that no one has ever seen the left half of Ame's face. Not even I'm privy to what's underneath her bangs. That's me! That's so ah! Alright, sleepyhead. I'm gonna go brush my teeth, do my skincare routine, and get changed. You better be ready for our date by the time I'm done. She beamed at me, her warm smile bright like the sun. She was so beautiful and adorable, like a little flower begging me to pick her. How could I ever say no to her? People say that every beautiful rose has its thorns, but I think it's a little different for Ame. Her arms were covered in thin scars that ran across them haphazardly. If she had thorns, then those thorns were hurting her too. But flowers don't do that, so what would she be instead? And I don't want to hear you complaining about this tape being too short notice or whatever, okay? Love is unpredictable like that. And don't you care about me enough to keep up? A single tear rolled down her cheek from her right eye. All traces of her earlier smile had disappeared as sadness pulled the corners of her lips downward. She wailed as she swung into a full-blown breakdown. That's my girl, yo. You don't even love me, do you? You're just with me because you had the super chats I squeeze out of all my nerd fans. That's called emotional abuse, you know. She sniffled and wiped the tears from her face. Her cheeks took on a pinkish tint as her eyes continued to leak and grow puffy. Rather than diminish her looks, however, it only served to make her already enormous eyes look bigger. Of course, all of this was an act too. Ame had perfected the craft of crying on command and making it look really convincing. As a streamer, she needed precise control over her emotions, turning on whatever she wanted like a switch to elicit certain reactions from her viewers. It was her job to cry and smile with purpose, or even get so riled up she could snap a keyboard in half. I was familiar with all of this as someone who lived with her and cared for her in a romantic capacity. Just as I knew everything about Ame, I knew that the charade she was putting on was her way of showing love towards me. I also knew that if I ever saw her crying real tears, it could only mean one thing: that things were over between us. But even though I knew this wasn't real, she was still crying, and no proper human being would leave a girl crying. I had to do something to soothe her. The tears being fake didn't change the fact that she was deeply stressed from streaming every night and desperately needed a break. Putting herself out there on MeTube and social media, that meant that all eyes were on her. She had worshippers that treated her like a goddess, people who made it their personal mission to poke fun at her on subreddits like rant.ame, and others who saw her as a sounding board for their emotions. It was simple enough to understand how such chaos would eat away at one's mental well-being, but only those who'd been through the same thing could empathize. Maybe the money and attention were so intoxicating as she made it out to be, but even so, could this hell truly be worth it to her? That's my girl, yo! And there's a million of us. Hi. Never mind, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. It's all worth it. It's all worth it. I'm gonna go say hi to Ari real quick. That's my girl, yo. Alright, now that we're going on this date, says me, let's decide on where to go. Choose wisely, because it could make me love or hate you more. Also, did I mention that it'll affect what ending you get? Well, now I have. If you ask me, Ame was stuck. She had real skill and talent. She was a smart girl. Every night she would don her silly costume as the internet angel and stream under the name OMG Kawaii Angel, just K Angel from now on, because saying the full thing every time is way too much effort. Her streams gathered hundreds of thousands of nerds from all over cyberspace every night, All of the respect, lust, jealousy, hate, love, and boredom that congregated were compiled into a neat little metric known as the viewer count. Then that number would determine how much money she would receive for her efforts. It didn't matter what intentions her viewers went into the streams with. The important thing was that they became another number for the pile of numbers that ended up as cash in her bank account. And boy, did she have a lot of those numbers. Not to toot my own horn, but I had a very big hand in keeping those figures up. Ame was hugely dependent on me during her daily life, and most of the logistics of her streams were handled by me, too. But that's enough about that. The undeniable thing was her overwhelming charm was what made her career possible. Stats drove people crazy. Those numbers pushed them to the brink. At some point, Ame must have wondered whether I loved her for who she was or the numbers she produced. We started off as two broke asses who found comfort in each other. Without money in the equation, I think what we had was genuine love for one another. Now, neither of us could be so sure anymore. On the other hand, it was possible that we were now too close for either of us to unstick ourselves. No matter how hard she tried to ignore it, there would always be one persistent worry at the back of her mind. Maybe I can't be satisfied with my partner anymore. The image of us splitting could be looping in her head. It was something the two of us had to overcome together, though. What does being in a relationship mean? Could we take the steps into the future together hand in hand? These were questions we had to face. Ame was a middle school dropout who had a terrible personality and could do stupid things sometimes. But she's always thinking about things, much more than the average person. If her head was really as empty as people like to say, she would have never made it so big as a streamer. She was the kind of person who would rather be direct and spring a surprise date on her partner than try some elaborate scheme to bait me into one. There was hope that the element of surprise would bring back the butterflies we both felt when we started dating, too. From a practical element, it was also a good way to assess how one's partner would deal with an unexpected and potentially stressful situation. I mean, we'd all want someone who can handle both well, right? Plus, I'm not really one to talk. I chose this, after all. Oh my god, wait, so we're, actually going? Ame's eyes sparkled like 1,000 diamonds. I didn't care if it was an act or not. I wanted to believe that underneath her long bangs, her left eye was also shining like the brightest star in the sky. Yay! I'm so excited! Whatever happens to us in the future, I just want us to be happy. Okay, let's pick a place to have our date. Pichon, I'll go wherever you go. Unless it's jail, then no. Oh my god. What the fuck? I can't believe this fucking just hits you with it. It's an immediate left hook in the face. I think something I really love about this and the main game is that it's very loud and bubbly and a little abrasive. And it's so easy to believe that that's all it is. And that's all I thought it was for the first fucking year or two it was out. But it has so much heart to it and honesty behind it. It gets it. It fucking gets it perfectly. I can't believe this game understands what being a streamer is like to this level. Hi, Ari. It's crazy. Girls are just like this. Yeah, let's go to the hospital. Are you seriously taking me to the hospital for our date? You're lucky you have me, because any other girl would have dumped your ass straight away. I mean, it's fine. I'm nearly out of meds anyway, so it's good timing. You planned this date because of that, didn't you? You're always so on top of things. Thanks, Pichon. Today we were at the psych ward. I love her. Ame often came here to pick up her various pills and prescriptions. She had SSRIs, stronger stuff for really bad days, sleeping pills, medicine that stopped her from suddenly recalling things that were too painful to remember, all sorts of things. If she ever ran out of those, she'd have to play the dangerous game of facing reality all on her own. Since Ame's pills are running low, I decided to bring her here before things got out of hand. Doesn't it seem counterintuitive to have a system where people who struggled to do things on time all of the time had to pick up their meds on time all of the time? Hey, you ever think about the people you see in waiting rooms? I think the ones I see here are, like, especially unique. This ward accepted many patients with tough cases, so the waiting room could be quite confronting, too. Most of them weren't that out of the ordinary, though. Like the old folks playing their Game Boys, even though it was released way past their time. You missed a line that would have killed you.
What was it?
It was about her medications.
Oh, yeah, no, I heard it through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy. It's all thesis statements. Those who wandered back and forth in the corridors like NPCs, and kids who clung to their mothers unmoving and unspeaking. As different as they were, there was one thing that they all had in common. They were all living with unthinkable traumas that regular mentally healthy folk couldn't even begin to imagine. I've been telling you, my ideas keep getting stolen every day by famous mangakas. I'm the one who originally invented the dark fantasy genre. I've already told you this before. Oh, that's a guy. There was a man, middle-aged perhaps, in a room somewhere, shouting, probably arguing with his doctor. It was to be expected in this ward, and all the staff seemed used to it. Anyone who wanted to work here would no doubt have to be able to take those kinds of outbursts calmly without affirming or denying them. The man raged on, still inflamed by the plagiarism he was convinced was happening. It's happening all the time. I'm at a website. I'm sorry? Shosetsuka Ninaro? Yeah, sure. That everyone can post their light novels too. They're all reading my stories and ripping me off. Even the ones that get anime adaptations. Except their MCs are all shit and bland. His shouting went on for a good while. Ame stared at the door that seemed to be coming from her face, peaceful and composed. Everyone here is fighting their own battles the best they can. It's tough when your worst enemies and best friends both come from the inside of your own head. I know what that feels like. There was a time where it felt like I had insects buzzing around in my head all day. They would all fly around and screech and cause me all sorts of grief. I probably screamed like that man too, just to stop hearing them for even a second. I fought that battle alone too, just like he probably is. I watched, intrigued as Ame's face grew solemn. It was a rare sight to behold. I laid my hand on top of hers and laced our fingers together. If someone cut the two of us out of context right now, we'd just be like any other couple, enjoying each other's company side by side. However, we weren't like any other couple. I mean, how many others out there would spend their day at a psych ward? Didn't matter to me though, or Ame. We were both perfectly fine with spending our time here. For people who have to tough it out alone, they must really hate me for having someone like you with me. Maybe they'd even curse me for being blessed with such an adorable face, too. I wouldn't blame them if they hated me for building a name for myself and earning money through my streams by using my outcast energy to attract fans and sympathy. I must be something like a class traitor to them. If they were pointing behind my back and saying I was faking it all for clout, I wouldn't blame them at all. hear my gulp? Holy shit. I certainly feel like it on most days, but who would I be if I didn't turn my mental illness into a business? I'd just be a stupid middle school dropout. I have my good looks too, but they can only get me so far in this cruel world. I only got so big as KAngel because of my hard work, and I won't let anyone talk down to me about all the time and effort I've invested. Whatever. That's all just fluff. Anyway, having a partner like you who would keep tabs on my meds and take me to get more when I'm nearly out automatically makes me more privileged than half the people here on Earth. I wouldn't have the right to even look at the man beyond that door in the eye. Ame chuckled softly, resigned. Her face grew dark as she fell silent, gripping my hand back. Hey, cuties! It's KAngel, your totally normal internet angel who has a super normal brain. What did y'all get up to today? I went to the upstairs doctor for the first time in a while today. Aren't I so good? Well, it's really nothing special. We should normalize getting professional help when we need it. Anyway, I took my meds earlier, so if I seem a bit out of it, that's why. If I say something weird, no, I didn't. But if I did, just give me a gentle poke in the comments. The place I go to is pretty well known, actually. I looked at my symptoms and just picked a doctor that seemed like they would get it. So whenever I go, I see a lot of people like myself there. The surprising thing is, if you look up the hospital's reviews, they're actually super bad. They're all like, the doctors never take me seriously. They're all quacks. Well, I guess all online reviews are kind of like that. But, you know, the people writing them probably weren't in the best state of mind, and yet they continue to go to that hospital. When you think about it, wouldn't all those low reviews actually mean the place is good then? I know it's good for me because the staff there listen to me and make me feel okay. My point is, the reviews are so bad because the patients feel like they can express themselves however they like, which is actually a good thing. The world can be such a tricky place, huh? Anyway, if any of you are going through it right now, I hope you can find a professional that you vibe with. But before that, get yourself something warm to drink and bury yourself in your comfy bed and get a good night's sleep. I'm gonna send you all to bed now, so get ready. Good night now, my little nerds. Bless. I had so much fun yesterday. Where will you take me next? Surprise me! Oh my fucking god. Let's go to the beach. The beach? When it's cold? Genius idea, Peachon. No, I mean that for real, like unironically. It's so quiet because there's no one else around. And it's not like I would have went in the water anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's cold. Good choice. Ame smiled. She seemed happy enough with my choice. We stared out into the great big ocean, the mother of all life. As humans, we're all made to feel something inexplicable when we come face to face with large bodies of water, including Ame, the contrarian streamer who spends most of her time shut in her room. Any other person would have wished for a bright sunny day, but not Ame or me. The sky was gray and gloomy, the perfect kind of weather to get the moody teenager inside going, and totally perfect for us. You ever look at the ocean and start thinking about offing yourself? Not like because you want to die, but more like if you dove straight in and kept going, merciless Mother Nature would eventually take you into her embrace, and then your life, too. Brr. The scariest thing about nature would probably be the fact that it had no feelings. No matter how much you screamed or begged, the oceans and wilderness would never relent. The best thing to do when you were stranded or drowning would be to stay calm. Maybe that's why a lot of people chose to end their lives with nature. Unlike humans, the earth would never react even when faced with a dying person. Even if you have no real desire to die, you just sometimes end up in a situation or place where you think about how easy it would be to die if you just made a few specific moves. Kind of like that author, Natsuhiko Kyogoku, I think, talks about being overcome by something like an evil spirit. Who knows how many of our inexplicable actions like murder and suicide could be attributed to nefarious entities entering our minds. And it wouldn't be restricted to just big, serious things like those either. Maybe they controlled even the little things in our lives. The trivial actions we couldn't explain otherwise. Hey, you know how Osamu Dazai committed suicide with his girlfriend by drowning in a river? I wonder if they really did that with the intention to die. I got curious about him one day and did some research, and I found out that he made a lot of suicide attempts throughout his life. A lot of them with the woman he was seeing at the time, and one even ended in the woman's death. I'm not even going to comment on how messed up that is, because he's long dead anyway. Going to drown with your lover just seems like such a spur-of-the-moment thing, or like a last resort attempt to reconcile with whatever weakness you perceive to have in your mind. I saw an interview with someone Dazai knew where they said he would show them the rope and say he was serious about killing himself, and they felt troubled because they felt that no matter how they tried to help Dazai, he just wouldn't accept it. It's kind of like when people go on social media and say they're going to kill themselves in a desperate bid for care. These things can get really desperate and snowball the more you do it, though. Anyway, that's what I think about every time I come to the beach. The ocean breeze picked up and ruffled on my skirt. Something in my chest ached, a prick resembling a wound made by a pointed instrument. As my mind took a snapshot of the girl and the waves, I became gravely aware of the fact that I had a heart capable of doing so. Hey, Peachan? What if I asked you to walk into the ocean with me right now? Which one would be true love? Accepting without any protest, or trying to convince me to stay and live? Don't think too hard over it. I wasn't being serious. I have an important life mission that no evil spirit could take me away from right now. Okay, let's go home now. It's dark and my poor little nerds need me. Ame turned and left her innermost thoughts behind with the moonlit water and lapping waves. Hey cuties, it's KAngel, or should I say J-Angel, because I'm a jellyfish today. So I went to the beach earlier today and saw the ocean, so I'm not afraid anymore. I didn't go in because it was too cold, but it sounded like I would have gone in if it were hot anyway. I'll leave that kind of stuff to you humans. Or maybe I could leave cyberspace so we can go see the ocean together? If you guys did go to the beach though, I bet you'd still all be glued to your phones. Unless you're swimming, but you guys won't. You'd all be taking photos and editing them to look no filter for your Instars, you addicts. Maybe a bathhouse or sauna would be better. Then, since you wouldn't be able to bring your phones in, you'd be forced to forget the chaos on the internet and just focus on relaxing in the baths and hot stream. Wait, is that why saunas are getting so popular these days? Because people just want to forget about the internet for a small while? Anyway, it's time for all you nerds to put your phones away and go to bed. Forget about all the idiots online and get some damn rest. Promise me you'll do that. Good night, guys. Bless. Having access to Pichon's interiority is a little strange on account of Pichon not being real. I think either this VN is just living in a world where Pichon is a real person, or it's not, and it's still just like Ame's inner monologue kind of doubling up on herself, and it still makes perfect sense to me. She's someone that needs someone else to push her to do things, so she has to make that other person herself and make a version of her that's willing to put on the gloves and put the pants on and do the things that needs to get done. I think all of this stuff still works. I even think the part in the hospital where she's talking about how your best friends and your worst enemies are both in your mind sometimes works with Pichon. Like, best friend to lover to caretaker, that's not much of a jump. I had so much fun yesterday. Where will you take me next? Surprise me. When you said you were taking me to do some urban exploration, I thought you were just gonna take me to a generic old part of town swarmed by Insta-girlies, and I was so ready to beat your ass, but this abandoned school is pretty sweet. Nice one, Pichon. I thought I was gonna die from having to climb up this mountain after getting train sick from that super long ride, but it was so worth it. We stepped inside the abandoned school and breathed in its musty air. Kicking up dust as we went. Entering this wooden building tucked away in the mountains was like traveling back in time. The village it had been a part of was long deserted, and the whole place felt like a ghost town. It was a small slice of a world unknown, the shell of dreams that once were lives that were being lived once upon a time. The chairs and tables were already rotting, perhaps still waiting for students to come back and learn with them again. Little did they know, however, that their fate was to be forgotten and eventually destroyed. Ame seemed to be enjoying this desolate atmosphere. I hated school, so it feels good to see one in such a sorry state. Well, at least she likes it, even if her reasons were a little unconventional. Something nostalgia. This place must have molded so many kids into cogs for the great machine of wage cuckery. It's only fair that it would go down like this then. Oof. Harsh. However, one could argue that being anti-establishment was a core part of what made a streamer a streamer. Someone like her who sought refuge on the internet away from the educational system and society that rejected her, stood for everything these institutes tried to squash. Though shoving this... Okay, sorry. I thought I did good in school, but... stood for everything these institutes tried to quash through shoving their students into small boxes that taught them how to socialize and conform. You know, a video about a truant middle school dropout exploring an abandoned school would actually be like the perfect video. I put on my best horror stream screaming and the views would roll in like an avalanche. But nah, bit cringe. Plus, to be honest, this is supposed to be a date for just the two of us. It'll be our little secret. And it's not like I wrote my KAngel out anyway, lol. Ame started taking full advantage of the fact that the building was abandoned by running around and kicking everything she could get her hands on. Or Rather feet. At one point, she kicked the wall so hard her foot got stuck in the resulting hole. But all in all, she seemed to have a great time absolutely wrecking the symbol of her childhood pain. I wish I'd done this to the school I went to. I should have torn it to pieces and razed the whole thing to the ground. I wish I made everyone who bullied me get down on their knees and apologize. No, that's not enough. I should have made them jump out the window. Not so high up so they'd die, but just enough so they'd break their bones. I was in hell. I hated them so much. I wanted so badly to climb on the spider's thread, if only to look down on them. I swore to myself that I'd become someone they'd be mad jealous of. I think I did in a way. Look at where they got glued themselves to desks, and look at where I am now, more rich and famous than any of them could ever be. Plus, I have a wonderful and loving partner, too. But it's not like they know it's me when they look up KAngel. So much for throwing them into the pits of despair and jealousy. They just probably go about their little lives, and they probably don't even remember that they even went to school with me. Ame started to kick harder. I just want to hear them say, "My deepest apologies. I never knew you had such enormous talent to become the emotional support for millions of people all around the world." She picked up a chair and hurled it at the blackboard, hanging precariously at the front of the room. Made contact with a heavy thud, and a large crack appeared on the dark green surface. I'll stop there for today. Consider yourself lucky. She slowly paced as she wiped the sweat from her brow, happily murmuring, "Because I'm so kind and generous, I'm practically a bodhisattva?" Yeah, to herself. Once the adrenaline had worn off, she grew bored of the abandoned school and wanted to go home. By the time we headed out, it was already dusk, the time when students would usually be heading back to the comfort of their homes after a day of boring classes. Hey cuties, it's KAngel, the middle school dropout angel. You must all be wondering what I did today. Well, keep wondering, because I'm not going to tell ya. Keep it to yourself, because I don't care. Us angels have a lot of secrets we need to keep from you humans, and if you're getting ready to accuse me of having a boyfriend, stop right there. I have no need for one because I'm devoted to being your angel, so don't worry and just keep standing me. If you really want to know what I did today, then let's see some Reddit and chat. Hey, don't actually do that. That's a whole 10,000 yen. But I do love those zeros. Thank you guys so much. Getting it on screen, getting it on screen. Yes! Yes! Oh, she's so cute. That's me. Man, I do love being with you guys on stream here. I have so much fun, and I really mean that. I'm not just saying that because you guys give me money, okay? It's just one of those nights, you know? And you guys have it so tough out there. That's why you're all here watching some girl on the internet, right? I really feel for you guys. I can't hope to truly understand what you're all going through, and it might not be my place to say this, but let's all promise to do our best to get through our days, okay? That's all I wanted to say. Anyway, I'm going to bed. I hope you guys can get through being another day of wage cucks and study betas with a smile. Plus... She's fucking awesome. Taking your girlfriend to the local arcade is like the IRL equivalent of taking a girl in a dating sim, trawling for secondhand PC parts, and then tanking your affection meter. But it's a bold choice. Nice one, Pichon. We're already not normal, so why pretend to be? Chilling at an arcade together is peak. Oh, I hate her so much. I'm ready to get my game on. I knew it was a bit of a gamble, but good thing Her Highness seemed pleased. We gawked at the giant coin-pushing games and their bright lights, mused about how old-school games like those crocodile-smashing ones were probably the gateway, and enjoyed everything the arcade had on offer. It was a wholesome establishment, perfect for families, which meant that there were none of the usual nerds here, just a quiet corner of town with nothing weird going on. Kind of feels like we're teenagers who just started dating. For two youngsters who wanted somewhere to go, but A, didn't have that much money, and B, had half the city blocked off to them as minors, game arcades were the ideal date spot. Much fun could be had for a few hundred yen, and the photo booths just hit different. Even though all of us had smartphones and a million photo apps now. Plus, the really big and fancy arcades sometimes had bowling alleys or pool tables in case anyone wanted to flex for their girl. Youth. Not that I'd really know what that feels like, since no one at school would have ever dated me. I'd always come here alone to practice fighting games and gun blam, and like so many guys would come up to me being like, "Oh, you want me to teach you? I could play co-op with you on gun blam if you'd like." Ew. Okay, nobody asked. But even though I hated how patronizing they were, not gonna lie, I still liked the attention. Ame sat down at the old, worn-out cabinet and began fiddling with the joystick and buttons, perhaps recalling a combo that some guy taught her long ago. I couldn't really blame those nerds for approaching her the way they did, as annoying as it must have been. A beautiful girl in an arcade was like a fresh spring in a desert, especially for the people seeking refuge from their daily lives. It was only human for them to approach and call out to such beauty and wonder. Now that I think about it, those nerds were probably just really lonely, huh? Ame continued to tap and flick away, cycling through different combos. None of them had any effect on the game, of course, as no coins had been inserted. The demo screen played on, oblivious to any input. I mean, if you just wanted to verse someone, you could easily do that online. They must have been really starved for human contact if they bothered to come all the way to an arcade in real life. You get a sense of kinship fighting with other outcasts who would have been rejected at school and work, you know? Just the both of you here in the darkness of the arcade, punching it out. I think this is how all fighting games should be played. Online, you wouldn't know who you're going against, just climbing the ranks mindlessly. But here, you can just peek around the corner and see your rival. Whatever, not that I care. Ame stood up and suddenly walked deeper into the bowels of the shop. Oh my god, there's KAngel merch in the claw machines! Go me! She wasn't alone anymore. There was no more waiting for awkward nerds to hit on her as she sat alone at the cabinet. She had a partner and all the fans and followers in the world, filling the emptiness in her heart. I don't think we're really the kind of people to blow all our money on claw machines or verse each other on racing games like the other screeching couples, though. I wish they had a merry-go-round here. Let's go home. But I had fun. I think this will become one of those days that will come back to me once in a while when I see something random. We left the bright lights and loud noises of the arcade behind us. If we ever wanted a game, we could just hop on our phones and find someone to play with. Hello, cuties! It's KAngel, the arcade angel. What'd y'all get up to today? I went to an arcade. It wasn't huge or famous or anything, but I passed by it while I was on my walk and just decided to go in by myself. And guess what, guys? I saw a claw machine with my merch in it. It was very exciting. I saw some schoolgirls there talking about how cute they were and how much they wanted some. I was so happy I almost stepped in to catch some of them myself. But man, arcade-goer demographics have changed so much. It was such a nice arcade, but there wasn't a single nerd in sight. I bet it's because you guys are all cooped up at home gaming instead of going outside to play games. We'll also fill the dark, dingy corners of the arcade if not for all of you. Who else is gonna stand around with their arms folded like bison and backseat game the whole time, then go out for ramen together with other randos whose real names they don't even know? You guys gotta start pretending like you're in Umehara's manga and go out and do this. I'm begging you. Like, that sounds like so much fun. I almost wish I could do that too. Oh, she yaps so much. I guess nowadays, pro gamers are celebrated so much they've lost their gloomy, nerdy reputation. But, you know, it's kind of sad that they have to act all professional and stuff now that big money's on the line. I mean, people usually become gamers because they'd rather not deal with the real world. And they go to the arcade to meet their little group of nerds who feel the same way, right? It wasn't much, but it was their slice of joy, and now they have to deal with the real world because they play games. Strap on to Miss Prime. Strap on to Miss Prime. I'm glad that you like how the chat background works, or looks. Thank you for the suggestion. The first 10 minutes of the stream, I forgot to put it on so it looks bad, but thank you for the recommendation. Thank you, strapped on to Miss Prime. Plus, I bet there's a whole bunch of people who would love nothing more than to play games with others, but are forced to stay in the dark because they can't or don't want to act all hype for the big companies and stuff. Anyway, that's just my thought of the day from my visit to the arcade. If I'm talking shit, then just ignore me. If you haven't gone outside in a while, then do it. Go play a game with someone you can see face to face, but shower first, okay? Promise me you will. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bless! From Nanako Station, if you left through the north exit and walked to the end of Nanako Sun Mall, you would find yourself face to face with a mixed residential and commercial building. Hey, this is Nakano Broadway, known for being the mecca for nerdy stuff. I love this place. Nice choice, Pichon. Akiba's practically baby shit compared to Nakano. It's time to get really freaky and geeky. This is the kind of place that's best enjoyed once a month. We stepped inside, ready to be swept up by its holy corridors. Making it to Nakano Broadway could be, for people like us, a pilgrimage. Entering its hollowed halls made us devout believers of subcultures, regardless of whether or not the other visitors had that kind of mindset. By the way, if you didn't know, the ground floor, better known as the first floor, is used as thoroughfare, but keep going north and you'll eventually end up at the Aria Kushi side. There you will find nary a nerd shop. Those who were unaware of the location's status as a nerd hub would be none the wiser. Unlike Akibara, where the nerdiness was spread throughout, it's only concentrated in one spot at Nakano. Wow, the first floor actually looks kind of normal, except for the giant mandrake. Anyway, look, there's even some stairs that go down to a supermarket. JK. There's a shop selling gacha and Pouchmon cards, too. This place is nerdy as hell. Ah! There we go. Oh my god! A shop that's always having closing down sales to draw customers in. I thought they all died out in Akiba, but it looks like it's still got some of its kin here. It's crowded here on the first floor, but of course it was, as any thoroughfare would be. As such, this was where all the normie shops were. You only start seeing the really nerdy stuff from the second floor up. Also, if you plan on visiting the second floor, make sure you take the stairs. The lift will take you straight to the third floor, so watch out. I can't even imagine how many people miss the second floor because they don't know about this. With her expert knowledge, or maybe coincidental luck, Ame bounced over the stairs and headed up without even giving the normie shops so much as a glance. Ooh, look at all these trading cards and old books. Oh, and there's Anime Girl Plastic, Final Figures, Doujinshis, and Roje. They've really got everything here, huh? Damn, this game shop's got some really good stuff. There's stacks of really rare retro games in the window. Holy shit, that's expensive. I know it's a Roge, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why the fuck did 5 of you activate? I'm sorry. I don't speak Japanese, chat, and I don't watch anime. If I didn't know Coffee, or Alyssa, or Hazel, or Linus, or Ari, I would be talking about Succession on these broadcasts. Or like Love Island. Well, duh. They would be... What? Oh, well, duh. They would be. Everyone who works here probably has all the good shit memorized. Damn. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to score some bargains like those local secondhand shops that just slap prices on whatever. Sad. Coffee. That's not her name. That's my friend. Sorry, I said Coffee because I was thinking he probably would talk to me about Love Island. Well, he's the intersection between guy who would know what happens on Love Island and guy who knows what would happen in anime. Ame probably already knew that she'd have no luck, but held hope anyway in case she could score something good for a stream. She's probably talking this much for practice for what she'd say tonight, too. Truth be told, there were rarely any places left that would sell rare things for cheap, even out in the boonies. The shops that lasted this long were able to do so because they knew the highest prices they could sell their stock at. Plus, the places that tried to beat their competition by listing their items below market value would get their goods snapped up so quickly you'd hardly have time to blink. Not to say that bargain hunting was impossible these days, because it wasn't, but you'd have to be incredibly lucky. Oh, Oh, there's even cafes here. Maybe I should just retire and open a chill cafe here. Oops, don't tell anyone I said that, okay? Nakano Broadway was an old building with over 55 years of history. The call for its demolition could happen any day. So running a shop that needed a lot of time to build a customer base here, like a cafe, was a risky gamble. Thankfully, it's not enough to stop those who truly loved these holy grounds. The nerdiness is even stronger up here with all the gun blam and writer exclusive shops. You don't really see this even in Akiba. This place is basically nostalgia heaven for parents. I can see them buying toys here so they could live their glory days vicariously through their kids. But I guess the kids would be happy to be surrounded by so many books and toys. This is a weird place for sure, but maybe that's why a lot of families come here. This place has probably turned hundreds of kids into geeks who grow into robot and toku-loving adults. The circle of life and all, huh? Being the central hub of Nakano wasn't the only reason this place saw a lot of family. There was also a huge park right next door with the light of Nakano gathered in the form of couples and families, creating a big yin and yang town. Sending dark nerds who wish to avoid such light, visiting on a weekday would probably be your best bet. Oh, look at this bookstore! They've got some really controversial stuff there. Opening a shop for fellow freaks would be pretty cool too. Ame babbled on excitedly, pointing and gesturing in a frenzy. She'd gone completely off the deep end, sucked in by the whirlpool of nerd shit. The highest floor just hits different. It really feels like the good old days are perfectly preserved here. Unlike the second floor, which you could easily reach after climbing one flight of stairs, and the third floor, which the elevator went straight to, the fourth floor was special. A special place that you could only reach if you wanted to. You couldn't get there by some coincidence or mistake. It was special in another way too. It housed a chaotic concoction of vintage Showa-era toys, manga, and magazines. There was even an arcade well known for still running a bunch of niche retro cabinets. Even from the first glance, you can immediately sense that the shops here were paradise for a select portion of nerds. Look, they've even got anime cells here. Oh, I love CCS. This is so cool. Or CCs? Probably CCs. Hey, you ever think about how cells aren't sold as merch to the ones on the market or sold by an animator who needed some pocket money? I mean, it's cool that anime nerds will get a chance to own a piece of the series they love, but it sort of gives me mixed feelings, you know? It's kind of like how if I saw someone selling something I autographed for them, I'd be pretty annoyed, but on the other hand, they could be selling it because they're strapped for cash, and that wouldn't be selling it if they could help it. And they wouldn't be selling it if they could help it. Also, it could be that their family members passed away. Oh, sorry, fuck. Also, it could be their family members selling it for them because they passed away. If a collector passed, the family could either sell their things to a secondhand shop like Mandrake, I think it's Mandrake. Mandrake? Or shut them away in a closet somewhere. An outsider wouldn't be able to tell if it would be more respectful to sell their things or keep them. However, what they would know is that either option would be better than bagging them up and throwing them away. Cells definitely were just sold for pocket money though. Oh well, it's none of my business. I'm just gonna grab a Digiko cell and go home. Once she left the shop with her purchase, she nodded and headed for the stairs, assuming that she had her fill of nerdiness for the day. Now that she'd spent the day surrounded by nerd shit, her streams probably reflect that too. Or maybe they won't. One thing I was sure of though, if she showed this side of her more, she'd attract even more annoying fans. Sure, maybe there was some merit to taming them into KAngel fans, but Was it really worth it when they had the emotional intelligence of a 5-year-old? I'm tired from walking around all day, so no stream tonight. I'm gonna stare at my cell all night and then sleep. I'm never gonna tell my nerds that I got one, otherwise they would get all on my ass about how to properly store and display it. Ah, that was so good. Ka-dunk, ka-dunk. The train clanked on as it carried the lone passengers forward towards Ame's childhood home. She very rarely spoke about her family and never even explained where their house was exactly. However, despite that, Pichon still suggested they visit. Regardless of whether heaven or hell was waiting for them, it was a life partner's duty to follow their other half into it. I was scared of being happy. I mean, look at me. I may be cute and pretty, and sometimes my brain cells kind of work, but I'm not exactly someone who deserves to be happy. Every time I thought about it, I feel like I was being crushed by a weight in my chest. It comes back every time KAngel gets more followers and pure fans who genuinely like her. I keep thinking that karma will get me for it one day, and whenever I go to bed, I can't help but think that I'm going to wake up to a flame war and everything will come crashing down. Ame sometimes wakes up in the middle of the night screaming, perhaps escaping from a punishment worse than death that her mind had conjured up. The better her life was during her waking hours, the worse her nightmares would become. Not even the thought of being on a date could chase away those fears. But even with it hanging over my head, I had fun. It helped pull me out from the claws of my own mind for a little while. I started to even think that maybe I could be allowed to be happy. And that thought is getting a little stronger. Ka-tunk, ka-tunk. The train clanked on as it continued to carry the two lone passengers forward. Watching the sunset on an empty beach, enjoying our youth at an arcade at night, fighting against my inner demons at the hospital, nerding out as a couple together at the shopping center with retro vibes, reminiscing about childhood in an abandoned school building. You know, to be honest, I thought it was all kind of stupid. 'Cause, it's all kind of pointless, you know? Well, I guess it does give me content for my streams, at least. Ame was both Pichon's girlfriend and an angel devoted to hundreds and thousands of nerds waiting on the other side of the screen. She was prepared to turn any situation and experience into content. But on the flip side, this meant that wherever she went and whatever she did, there'd be countless shadows just waiting around the corner. The stress of having to constantly switch between just a regular girl and one of the most popular streamers ever was immeasurable. The more it built up, the more it fed into the air of unease that hung over her. Her world was always covered in a shroud of some indescribable anxiety. She hid half of her face with her hair so she wouldn't have to look straight at that uncomfortable something. It was a sad path to take, but she chose to walk into those thorns. Despite everything, the train continued to run, never able to speak a single word. Whatever thoughts simmered away in Ame's head, the mechanical clanking and rattling erased it all. But you know, the only choice I have is to accept happiness. The train slowed to a complete halt as it arrived at its final stop. The two passengers aligned and headed for their destination. I will make my life a happy one. Their steps synced to each other. They walked, side by side. Slowly, slowly. I'll do it for you, Pichon. To thank you for never leaving me and always being there for me. And I'll do it for myself, too. I'm a little scared, but I think I can do it. A moment of silence stretched between them. Their steps continued, however, carrying them forward to their goal. Part of me thinks that all love is just playing pretend. I mean, 90% of all couples end up breaking up, so couldn't you say that they were just hinging everything on the short moments that felt good? Listen to me being an edgelord, but I just thought I had to get that out there. And you'd tell me that's not true even if you didn't really believe it, right? There was no reply from her partner, but Ame took it as a silent agreement and skipped happily. No matter what happens from now on, I know that all the dates we had and this moment of us going where we needed to go together was all real. And that's enough for me. She smiled as the lie left her lips. When she spoke to her doctor last, she said nothing about lies. Technically, her claims of insomnia and chronic fatigue weren't untruthful, and the medicines that would then be prescribed to her did help stabilize her. Her fundamental imbalances and misalignments weren't anything as superficial as those symptoms, but she wasn't about to reveal them to anybody. Would anyone be able to understand the true inner workings of the girl who called herself the Internet Angel? Would any doctor or lover be able to do that? Maybe her partner, her Petit, was the only one who could. At the very least, there's one thing that did remain true. The one thing that did remain true was that she was heading towards her own goal on her own 2 feet. My face when she walks because she's born. Petit said nothing. To be more exact, nothing had been said since the moment they met. When Ame said she wanted to go on a date, that proclamation had been met with neither sound nor reply. We're almost there. Where? Isn't this exciting? What is? I get the feeling that all sorts of things are going to start coming our way, but something that we can't overcome together. Yay! Why? I hope our love will last forever. She stopped. She pointed at something in front of her and murmured softly. Promise you won't let seeing that stop you from staying with me. I love you, Petit. I love you so, so much. Oh my fucking god! Okay. I want to see what happens if you go straight for the ending. Ka-tunk, ka-tunk. She very rarely spoke about her family and never even explained where their house was exactly. However, despite that, Petit still suggested they visit. Regardless of whether heaven or hell was waiting for them, it was a life partner's duty to follow their other half into it. I can't do this. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Ame trembled inside the swaying carriage, but the huge machine did nothing to comfort her. The trains had no feelings, only electric circuits that took commands and inputs from its human driver. She could be scared for her life, and the train would still be completely oblivious to it. No way I could ever be happy. What kind of fucked up world would let a lowlife like me find joy? I'm just a useless sack of flesh that nobody could ever truly love. Ame hunched over and cradled her head in her arms, her body twitching as she tried to hold back her emotions. The noise and the pain attacking her was like a swarm of flies, blocking out the person beside her, the one that loved her. It was so unbearable that Ame was starting to forget where she was. Help me! I'm so stupid, 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 stupid! God, I want to throw up. I feel like I'm lying to everyone. I trick all of them into thinking I'm an angel, reel them in with my sweet talking, and turn their genuine love into money for myself. I show them some skin, knowing they'll throw themselves at me, and I say all of the things I know they want to hear, all so they can boost my ego and my bank account. How could a girl like this ever be allowed to be happy? My past self, who'd roll up in bed and scroll the internet endlessly, would never forgive someone like that. If she could travel to the future, she'd come and hit me. It's strange. I'm the only one that I could ever and do love. But I feel nothing but rage and contempt for myself. Ame screamed, her voice piercing the air. This grotesque, twisted form was the true nature of the angel who charmed hundreds upon thousands of fans all over the world. Her expectations and emotions ran wild. Her mind fell apart at the worst of times, and when she troubled anyone else, her guilt would crush her, and she would scream and cry out in an attempt to block everything out. She was like a young and immature beast that was not quite human. That was how she saw herself, or rather, how she thought she ought to see herself. In truth, the true emotion that laid at the heart of it all was that she loved herself. She was so drunk on her own love that it made exposing this unsightly part of herself bearable. Her mind was always intoxicated by one thing or another. Right now, it was the unfortunate part inside that rejected all happiness for herself. She made herself feel better by acting the role of a tragic and beautiful woman who'd gone off the rails and tormented herself with the irony of it all. The people online were right about me being a low-life scum. Being low-life scum who begged for scraps by pandering and sucking up and lying to others. I'm sorry for ever talking shit about anyone. I'm sorry for looking down on you people, but I'm not the only bad guy here. Just because I seem to have a good life going on for me and my partner and fans who love me doesn't mean they all have to attack me. The internet has plenty of other people who hide there because their lives are empty and hollow. So why me? Isn't it worse to do nothing with your life? Is it such a crime for me to get lucky? I took this gamble knowing that if I made one wrong step, I'd be ridiculed for the rest of my life and be forced to live as a plaything. Why can't people see that? I deserve at least a pat on the back for that. Ame shook her head and swung her shoulders violently. Her entire sense of self was jacked into the internet, to an entire world watching and picking her apart 24/7, day in and out. It was you. Day in and day out. It was, you should have done this, you should have done that, you suck, you're disgusting, we're gonna plaster your name everywhere, then slash it to shreds. She was fighting with the fans and haters every day in her head. She wanted nothing more than for it to stop, and the only person who could do that was her partner, Petit. However, not even a romantic presence could get through her heart. The anxiousness that plagued her hung around like a thick fog. But what would happen if the only person in the world she could trust her swelling ego with tossed aside? What if she was the one to tire first instead? What if it happened to both of them at the same time? As much as we wanted to believe otherwise, love was not infallible. They were incompatible in many ways. Ame had managed to become KAngel, an internet sensation with the world wrapped around her little finger, but Petit was just an average person off the street. If Ame left first, then she would take everything with her. However, on the other hand, Petit could become the single weapon that could kill the KAngel mythos and expose her for everything she was. The doubts would start to rise. Was this person the right one to share everything with? Am I doing the right thing by trusting someone else and revealing my past roots and my childhood home to them? But love is a fragile thing. The moment you start to question it is when it all begins to fall apart. Trust is the single component keeping lust, thoughts of using your partner, and all other vague things in check when in love, and you can't buy it back once you start losing it either. Now that the irreversible had happened, it wasn't hard to imagine where these two were heading. Things were still fine as long as the train was running, but it's closing in on its final stop, where the two would have no other choice but to alight. They'd have to face each other whether they liked it or not, and confront their own hearts too. The hearts that doubted and took advantage of the one they were supposed to love and trust. The guilt, the self-awareness, it was all getting bigger and bigger. The train carrying Ame was starting to slow. In 10, 20 seconds, it would reach its goal. Once it stopped, Ame would find herself at the gates of hell. She couldn't bear to look reality in the eye without the inebriation of her own ego, and the brakes were the best hangover cure she could ever detest. Her mind sped up, brewing an apocalypse within its void. A few thoughts began to bubble. What would happen if she abandoned Petit? Didn't they still love each other? Even if she left, wouldn't they try to piece things back together? There would be salvation, sweet, convenient salvation, and absolute destruction. All two sides of the same coin of delusion. Her mind was a mess. An announcement blared through the train. In a few seconds, the train was going to stop at its final destination, the hell of self-awareness. Goodbye and hello to the beginning of the inevitable end of a dream. Kill me, please. The wheels grinded to a halt. Oh man. I am very excited for the typing game. I have to go work on some things. This game has creatively simulated basically every single thing I have going on in my brain right now. Yeah, these games are so good. I can't believe that this was also like as good as the main game. I really loved Ame's Happy Happy dating game. It is midnight for the East Coast, so you guys better go to bed. Bless.